the Wednesday, January 12th, representative town meeting. Town clerk, would you please call the roll?
Okay, can you announce what time it is?
I'm sorry, it is 7:32.
Okay. All right, Representative Adams,
Here.
Bailey,
Here.
Burrell, Wright,
Here.
Casper,
Here.
Surf,
I'm here, but yeah, okay.
Chase,
Here.
Pop,
Here.
Crockett Hubbard,
Here.
Dean Shinbrot,
Here.
Eben, I see you. Fritchie,
Here.
Gardner, Representative Gardner, didn't see him. Gothier, Representative Gothier, yep, okay. DePiero,
Here.
Gustafson,
Here.
Ainline,
Here.
Hanscom,
Here.
Ivy,
Here.
Jacome,
Here.
Bassett,
Here.
Merritt, Norman,
Here.
Aubrey,
She is here. Well, she was.
yeah, I saw her.
She was in caucus.
Yeah, she was in the other caucus too. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll come in later. Okay, Perry,
Sorry, I'm here.
oh, okay, thank you. Perry, Powers Kristen, or Sean, Pacino,
Here.
Ray,
Here.
Rusk. Oops, you're supposed to be last. Never mind. I didn't call Rusk. Scott,
Here.
Cimarero,
It's here.
there, I see him. I see you. Okay, I see you. Okay, 26. Thomas,
Here.
VC Williams. I saw her. Where are you? Jamie, are you here? Jamie VC Williams? Okay. Watson,
I'm here.
Weaver,
Here.
Wells,
Here.
White,
Here.
Whitehouse,
Here.
Whitney. Whitney? Mhm. Okay, let me go back on people that we missed. That would be Gardner. Representative Gardner.
Excuse me, moderator, it looks like Representative BC Jamie, she's in the attendees, but she was here.
Okay, I can't, I don't have control of the meeting, so I can't move her.
On the way.
And Frickman is here. You skipped me.
I skipped you. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, so I did. Frickman. Thank you. Let's give you 33 and Jamie 34. How about Rusk?
Here.
35. Okay, so we have 35 is what I'm calling it. I do have Representative Gardner that isn't here yet, but that doesn't mean he won't show up. And Representative Merritt. And I know that both the Powers, Kristen and Representative Kristen Powers and Representative Sean Powers said they would not be in attendance this evening. So they have 35.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll take, I'm sorry.
Madam Moderator, I'm just letting you know, I'm repeatedly trying to promote, I forget her last name, Jamie, and the attendees, but for some reason it's not promoting.
Casey
She was
Williams.
allowed to talk, but I'll keep working on it. Yeah, for some reason it's not promoting. I'll keep working on it. I do notice the Zoom is not, the main GMTV is recording. You're gonna hear it say recording.
Recording in progress.
It's just a backup, but go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. We will have a moment of silence, please, and then will Representative Dean Shinbrot please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United
the United
States
States
of
of America,
to the republic for which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
God,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Citizens petition, oh, I'm sorry. I will take a motion to approve the minutes of December 8th, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
That
Bailey,
was
second.
Representative Kopp.
Bailey,
and
second.
Who made the motion?
Representative Kopp.
Yep.
And who was second? I'm sorry.
Adams, second.
Adam, thank you. Is there any discussion?
There is a hand up for Representative Eben.
Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yes, I had a addition to the minutes on page 3, where it's the presentation and rebranding of the Groton Senior Center. I would like to have added my comments, which is that Representative Eben thanked Mary Jo Riley for her presentation and her work at the senior center, and asked about the use of single-use plastic containers and utensils at the senior center. And Ms. Riley responded that they were using plastic single-use clamshell containers for the lunches, but we're trying to phase them out.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as modified, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? If you're opposing, please speak out because I can't see both screens at the same time. Okay. Any abstentions? Okay, that passes 35-0-0. The next portion of our agenda is citizens petitions. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone here to speak tonight?
No one has alerted us that they are here to speak, but we do have some people here that are ex officio members. I don't know. I see John Burt with Councilor Franco's face. I don't know how that happened, but we do.
That's weird.
Anybody else here? I really can't see everybody.
So I am not seeing anyone with their hand up, so I'm going to move on to receipt of communications. I will start with, I did receive communication that Sean and Kristen Powers were going to be unable to attend tonight. And everybody else seems to be here that came into. We all should have gotten an economic development update. If for some reason you did not receive that, please let the clerk know and she can send that to you. We received, as an RTM, received an email from Richard Fitzgerald of 8 Benjamin Road in Mystic, Connecticut. His letter reads, Groton Town Council and RTM, on your agenda, do not forget to include the 80% complete inaccessibility of the Mystic coastal access due to the signage missing. My inputs to the new town council of 11/30/21 and 12/7/2021 provide the details and proof of the missing signage locations. make the town manager, John Burt, and town planning department, John Reiner, get involved and get the signage replaced. It would be an asset to the town if completed. The town officials, town manager, and town planning department have known and ignored this problem since 2016. Additionally, we received a capital improvement plan referral for appropriations for the athletic field development. Madam Clerk, is it appropriate for me to read this all in its entirety or just make a referral to the Finance Committee? I'll read at least the resolution. It's a resolution authorizing the allocation of $33,000 of capital reserve fund unassigned fund balance for the FYE 2022 capital reserve project entitled Athletic Field Development. Whereas the FYE 2021 CIP included an athletic field development project funded using $100,000 of LoCIP funds for the installation of an irrigation system and reconstruction, regrading, and reseeding of one athletic field at the Groton Community Center. And whereas Parks and Rec Development solicited bids for this project, which exceeded in the amount of $62,750. And whereas the Park and Recreation Department proposes to use $29,750 from the Park and Rec revolving fund account 323045502U. Park facilities, an additional $33,000 is required to complete this project. Now, therefore, be it resolved that an allocation of $33,000 from the Capital Reserve Fund unassigned fund balance is approved for the FYE 2022 Project 4E Athletic Field Development for installation of an irrigation system and reconstruction of one athletic field for the Groton Community Center. Now, that will, I'll make a referral of that to the Finance Committee, which we will go through that in just a minute. Are there any questions on that?
Representative Jacome has his hand up, I see.
Representative Jacome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I was just going to say some communications I received. Well, were helpful.
Can I finish through mine real quick?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I'm sorry. I believe everyone has received a copy of the different committees. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. The chair of the Finance Committee is Sean Powers, so I will let him know when he gets back that we made this referral to him.
Excuse me, Madam Moderator. I was just wondering
ma'am.
what page is that on about the committees?
Oh, I can send it to you. You will be on the Recreation Committee. My
Okay,
apologies
thank
that you did not get that. For referral or for liaisons, Edward Jacome will be the liaison for the Town Council. Leanne Aubry will be the liaison for the Economic Development Commission. Clarence Casper will be the liaison for the Gulf Advisory Committee. We still need someone for Board of Ed and Education, the Town and City Council RTM Board of Ed. And for Education, am I missing anything? I think that's it.
Trails.
I'm sorry, one more. Oh, and Trails.
We had other liaisons, but they weren't the normal ones. We had added them because certain people on the RTM were also on those committees. But certainly, if anybody is interested in the ones that we had at the last 32nd RTM, the moderator can ask for those if she wants.
Excuse me, Madam Moderator. Can you be on more than one committee?
So committee referrals have been made. You can be on up to 2. And I'd be happy to talk with you about that more. As of right now, we've made committee assignments. And that's where they're standing for right now. And I will send you that list as soon as the meeting's over.
Okay, thank you, Madam Moderator.
You're welcome.
You got a hand up there. Mr. Bright?
Hold on. Mr. Bright. Yes.
Yes, Madam Moderator, could you tell me if I'm on a committee?
Oh, my apologies. You are on a committee. You are on, my apologies, let me find it. You are on the Rules and Procedures Committee. And I believe that is it. Yes, you're on the Rules and Procedures Committee.
Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Yes, sir. Okay. So
Well
we will
said.
continue on with communications and Representative Jacome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Just having to do with a little bit of some communications. The town manager and the town actually sent out some things about the Connecticut Council of Municipalities that allows us to kind of take courses. I urge everybody to kind of do that. We had some training this Saturday on the 8th of January, but I also was able to hand out test kits and masks with the Groton Town Police. So make sure if there's volunteering opportunities, you're able to do those because it was a cold day, but we were able to facilitate that. And I thank the town of Groton for getting those masks for everybody because there's a lot of people were super grateful for that. And I think we did better than the first one, but I think it was overall a good event, and efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Wells.
Yes, I'm a little disappointed that I'm not continuing as the liaison to the Gulf Advisory Board. I've been doing that job for 4 years now, and it's taken, it takes a while to get the hang of how the course operates and what they're up to. So I thought I should at least mention that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your disappointment. I'm sorry. Somebody else had asked to do that committee, so we discussed moving on with somebody, so to allow them to have that opportunity also. Is there anybody else who has something for communications? Okay, seeing no other hands, we're going to move on to the report of the town manager.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, financials. The preliminary fund balance as of June 30th, 21, unaudited, is approximately 31.6 million, which is 24% of the FYE 21 general fund adopted budget. The contingency budget for 22 was appropriated at 350,000, of which there's still a balance of 341,000, though we typically have quite a few towards the end of the year. And then capital reserve fund current balance is estimated at 1.3 million. The only pending transfer is the one that was mentioned in communications for the athletic field development. In terms of town manager's report, as Representative Jacome said, it was a couple of great events for the distributing kits and masks. We're hoping that we'll get more in and be able to do more of that. Thank you to those who volunteered, very much appreciated, especially on the cold day on Saturday. The new Human Resources Director, Arnisha Green, started on the 29th of December, doing fantastic. Glad to have her on board. I'll have her come by and introduce herself sometime to you. The council has asked, they've had me extend an invitation to the Stonington concerning the North Stonington Bridge to have our annual discussion. So that'll be hopefully coming up soon. See if we can get something done finally. The paper was mentioned last month about the opioid settlement. We did get all our paperwork in, so we're all squared away for that.
Yay.
On January 25th at 5:30, we're going to do a FOIA training for an hour before the council meeting, and that is open to R.T.M members or Board of Ed members. Madam Clerk, will you be sending something out, or else Lisa will, one or the other, but it's 5:30 on the 25th. It'll be via Zoom. That's going to be put on by Tom Hennick from the Freedom of Information Act Commission, the lead staff there. So you will get
Lisa
notice
and
on
I
that.
will coordinate that, Mr. Burt.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, and then the town council recommended moving forward with the RFP for town attorney selection last night. And I think that's all I have, and I'm available for questions.
Representative Eben?
Hi, yes, Mr. Burt, I was just curious, is the new HR director also going to serve as your assistant town manager?
No, she is only the HR director. Until, I wouldn't put someone at the assistant town manager until I, knew them very well.
Thank you.
Representative Scott?
Yeah, just curious about, am I on mute? No. There's been some changes on the CDC level with respect to how COVID cases are being reported when somebody passes away. The standard is being diagnosed with COVID or versus from COVID. Do you know if Ledgelight Health District is going to be changing the way they take in those reportings and make those reports?
I've not heard that yet, but I will reach out to Steve Mansfield and I'll shoot an email out to the RTM tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Representative Thomas?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I'm sorry. So maybe I missed something somewhere. The assistant town manager is no longer with us. What, something happened?
Yeah, yes, he has since left employment, and I mentioned that before on here, but it's been a while. Yes, we do have a new one, a new person.
Point of clarification, you have a new assistant town manager?
No, sorry, just HR director, yes. It was a slash, now it's just HR director.
So we're not anticipating hiring another assistant town manager anytime soon?
Not at this point. I'm not sure when we might, but not right now.
Just to clarify, the assistant town manager and the HR director were one
Correct,
job
Bob Zagami,
previously.
correct, Bob Zagami, yes.
Correct. Okay. Okay, anyone else have any other questions? Okay, moving on, I'm sorry, Representative Weaver.
I was just wondering, I'm not sure how to put this question, but I know that there's some funds that are allocated that were given to us for COVID. And before you were seeking suggestions on how to spend those funds. How
Yes.
do you submit suggestions how to spend those funds or to allocate funds for something?
There's actually going to be something going out any day now, letting people know. I'll make sure you're on the list though, for the new round. Any day now it's going out though. You'll be able to go to a website and actually play with the amounts for different categories, and it's a pretty robust way to input your preferences. But I will make sure that gets sent to everybody on the RTM.
Okay, thank you very much.
Representative Watson, I see your hand up.
There we go. My hand was up. Wasn't there something on the website already about this? Because I seem to think that I saw something in the economic development report about people responding to things. Is that not correct, Mr.?
Yeah, it's a two. Sorry.
Yeah, because I was curious as to what the responses were. There was people that were active, and it was the next to the last page in an EDC report that we got.
Yeah,
all the numbers are there.
It's a two-phase. It's actually a two-phase survey process. Phase one was just wrapping up, and there's still a second phase before everything's put together and accumulated and parsed out to readable formats.
Okay, so we'll get another shot at this.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll have a few weeks at it, but again, I'll touch base with economic development and make sure a link goes directly to all the RTM members.
Thank you.
Representative Norman, you had your hand up. Are you all set?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who has any questions or comments? Seeing none, we will move on. Economic development is not here tonight, correct?
Correct. They will be here next month.
Okay, and superintendent of schools is not here?
I have not heard from her.
Okay. Seeing that we have no liaisons from this last month. I'm going to move on to committee reports. Our first committee is Rules and Procedures. Representative Massett.
I'm right here.
Hey.
Everyone should have received copies of the minutes of all of our meetings. And in the interest of time, I am wondering if we could entertain a motion to accept those minutes. If that's acceptable.
I did not. I only got one copy myself. Sorry.
You didn't get all three? You didn't get all?
I got one on December 16th.
Email on January 7th. I had them all.
Right.
I have December 29th.
Okay, an email went out, trying to find the date that had all three sets of minutes. And that was, let me find the date here. Because maybe it was, hold on. No. So not everyone got I'm just looking through the date. Here, this might be it. Okay.
It's on the 7th at 3:15 p.m.
Yes. I am looking at the 7th. I know that all three sets were sent from the clerk's office. Am I correct, Madam Clerk?
Oh, yes, you're definitely. I unfortunately, I can't get to my folders without leaving this meeting, and I don't want to do that. But we've already wasted probably 5 minutes now. I know that the meeting of the 16th was attached to the agenda packet.
Right.
So if you look at your agenda packet, after the minutes of the December 8th meeting, you will find the power of initiative, the town attorney opinions, the resolution, another town attorney opinions, the rules, and someplace in there were the minutes. The 16th.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember getting all.
Oh, yeah, there they are. Actually, it's after the rules and procedure referral for the 33rd. So it's page 9 of your packet.
Yeah.
Is the 16th. There are more minutes than that. So, don't know if you want to read them, but just to get through it.
Yes, I am. I'm working from two things. So
Make a motion, we waive the reading of the minutes.
oh, that'll work.
Good idea, Joe.
Second. Thank you. Is there a
Was there a
second?
second? I'm sorry. Who was the Representative Scott made a motion to waive? Who was the second, please? Brickman, thank you. So there's a motion on the floor to waive the minutes or waive the reading of the minutes. We will take a vote on that first. And then we will, if that passes, then we will make a motion to accept the minutes. So the motion on the floor is to waive the reading of the minutes. Town Clerk, would you like to take a roll call vote or just a voice vote?
Point of order.
Who said point of order? I'm sorry.
Representative Thomas.
Okay,
should we have
Representative
discussion on that
Thomas,
motion?
what's your point?
Should we have discussion on that motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there discussion on the motion?
Second, if nobody has.
It was seconded.
Yeah.
It was already seconded. I'm sorry. Is there discussion on the motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
We do have
Representative
one-
Evan has her hand up.
You just have to look at participants and then you can see the little yellow hand.
Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I, got in my packet that I get from the town clerk, I only received the 16th. It would be helpful if we could read the minutes from my point of view. So I will vote against that
Okay.
motion because I think in order to understand what happened, it would be useful to have them read, especially for those
All right.
people in the public who haven't received them. This is televised after all.
All right.
Representative Gauthier.
Yes, so I suppose my question is just one of clarification. Is the reading of the minutes in whole, were we doing that just as a matter of, that's what we did as a body? Or was that actually in the rules? As I understand from reading the minutes of this committee, there's a rule change being proposed that would allow for synopses and summaries as opposed to a full reading of the minutes. So is it in the rules that the whole minutes must be read? In which case we would need, I believe, a 2/3 vote of the RTM to change the rule as opposed to just waiving the minutes.
I do not believe it is in the rules. I think it's just been practice, but I am pulling up my rules right now just to confirm that.
Madam Moderator.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry for the clarification on the motion that's on the floor is not bearing on the revised rules. It's strictly on its own.
The question is, okay, yes. The question though is it in our rules that we have to wait, that we have to read it?
Not our current, not the 32nd RTM rules does not have anything about that.
Okay.
So there should be a report that's what's in the rules. I can read it to you if you want it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Thomas. Hold on, we need to get through this.
6.4 is 6.4 is the rule about the responsibility of the committees. And I'm seeing if there's anything about a written summary of the matter must appear on the agenda and have been sent to each RTM member prior to the meeting. That's about matters referred to a committee, which they were sent to everyone. So.
Okay. Representative
But, you
Thomas,
have to look at your emails.
All right, so first, real quick, a comment on, I think we should read the minutes at this point because I know, well, for one, Representative Evan did not receive that. Two, I believe Representative Gauthier only just recently joined the body, so she may not have received the package. Also, and so looking at committee reports, Rule 6.4.1 says each chair of a committee shall submit a report to the RTM on each item referred to the committee for consideration, and on other items the committee initiates for consideration for the purpose of advising the RTM as to the recommended action on such matters. This report shall include any information presented to the committee that may assist the full RTM in considering the question and shall be in accordance with Rule 6.4.1.1 and 6.4.1.2 below. And 6.4.1.1 content of reports, minutes, minority report says a committee report / minutes shall contain the following information: date, time, and place of meetings, names and members present and absent, names of members voting affirmatively and negatively and those abstaining, recommendation for action by the RTM, and any further information deemed pertinent or necessary for the RTM to make an informed decision on the subject. If the vote of the committee was divided, the dissenting minority may submit a report of its own. So, and then 6.4.1.2, a written copy of this is presentation. A written copy of the committee report / minutes and any minority report shall be given to the clerk, RTM, within 7 days of the committee meeting. Votes on any matter must be available within 48 hours of the meeting. If the committee report is presented at an RTM meeting sooner than 7 days after the committee meeting, the written report must be given to the clerk of the RTM at that RTM meeting. At the request of the committee chair, a copy of the committee report will be sent by the clerk of the RTM to each RTM member with the agenda or as soon as possible for the meeting at which the report is to be presented. So based on that, I mean, they're drawing an equivalence. These rules have report / minutes. So I believe it's like, you know, that's a little unclear as far as like, what's the report, what's the minutes? Now, so in this case, like, I'm not sure how to interpret that, but it's worthy of consideration.
Representative Tacom.
Thank you. Yeah, I got nothing out of that, but I will say that that we should. I just checked the email, and Representative Evans was on there. I could forward it to her again if she needed, but I would suggest that we do not need to read the minutes because I don't think it was explicit in the rules. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so seeing no other hands, I'm going to.
I agree, better do a roll call.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. The motion, or what we are voting on, is to waive the reading of the minutes. 1 second, grab my list. Madam Moderator, if you will.
Clerk.
Or, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, if you would please.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, no, or abstain when I call your name, please. Adams.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Burrell.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Casper.
Yes.
Surf.
No.
Chase.
Yes.
Up.
Yes.
Crockett Hubbard.
Yes.
Dean Shinbrock.
Yes.
Eben.
No.
Richie. Richie, are you there? Richie?
Yes.
Gothier.
Abstain.
Vitapero.
Yes.
Gustafson.
Yes.
Mainline.
Yes.
Mainline. Thank you. Hanscom.
No.
Ivy.
Yes.
Jacome.
Yes.
Massett.
Yes.
Merritt. Oops, not here. Norman.
Yes.
Norman. Yes. Aubrey.
Yes.
Pacino.
Yes.
Ray.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Cimarero.
Yes.
Thomas.
No.
PC Williams.
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Weaver.
Madam.
No, we're in the middle of, I'll get you, Frickman, hang on. We're in the middle of a roll. We can't stop. Weaver.
Yes.
Wells.
No.
White.
Yes.
Whitehouse.
Yes.
Whitney's not here. Frickman.
Yes.
Rusk.
Yes.
That's 30 in favor, 5 opposed, 1 abstention. You have 35 people here. No, 36.
I had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I have 29 yeses. 5 noes and 1 abstention.
Yep. You're right.
Okay. All right. So we are now taking a motion to approve.
Point of order, point of order.
Yes. Yes, who's the point of order?
Point of order, you have to discuss the minutes at this point.
Representative Casper, as a,
I'm taking a motion to approve them, to put them on the table. I don't believe they've been approved or been, I don't believe there's a motion to approve yet. And then we discuss.
a point of order on the previous
Yes.
vote.
Representative Casper?
When the minutes have been distributed in advance, no motion to omit their reading is necessary because the minutes are not read if they have been distributed in advance.
I'm
Unless,
sorry, can you repeat that one more time? I didn't catch that.
when the minutes have been distributed in advance, to omit their reading is necessary because the minutes are not read if they have been distributed in advance. Unless no motion to, I'm sorry, if the minutes have been distributed in advance, no motion to omit their reading is necessary because the minutes are not read if they have been distributed in advance. Unless someone requests it. A single member can request that the minutes be read even if the minutes have been distributed in advance. So with no request, the previous motion and the vote was unnecessary and a waste of time.
Representative Weaver.
I thought I clearly heard somebody request that the minutes be read. That's why we went through that whole due process.
Exactly.
Yeah, I heard a request. as
Hold
well.
on. Point of order. Let's, if you're not recognized, please don't speak. Representative Thomas.
Yeah, I clearly heard Representative Evan request the minutes be read.
Of course. Hold on. Can you guys, if you are not speaking, can you mute? Representative Evan.
I did request that the minutes be read because I request that my minutes be sent to me in a hard copy. And I only received the minutes of the 16th of December as a hard copy and did not read the others.
So there was.
And that's why I requested it.
There was a motion.
Hold on.
Excuse me, I also requested it because this is televised and the public haven't read it. And so for the public to understand what's being discussed in the rules, it would be helpful to them to have it read, as well as several members of this body who have just been sworn in. Representative Gauthier is one.
And we just had a vote, and the vote was to waive the reading of the minutes. Representative Pacino. Representative Pacino?
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay.
Does the general public have the opportunity to request these minutes to read?
The minutes are
Where can they
available
find them?
on the website. If you go to the Town of Groton website and you click on the RTM meeting, the entire packet, including the minutes, are available there.
Okay, so if a member of the public is interested enough to watch this video, they would have most likely been interested enough to read those minutes. Thus, we probably don't have to read the minutes.
Okay. Town clerk.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Just to remind the RTM and the public that exactly what the moderator explained. Every minute of every meeting, along with the agenda, are on the town website. It's pretty easy to manipulate. It's if you have any trouble, you can certainly there's actually instructions on the website also to if you have trouble, but you can always call my office and we can help you also. Manage through. I do it quite often with citizens, help them manage through the website. So, but we really do our best at having these minutes available. As far as printing them, and you have to, we do our best the mail service is extremely slow. I understand it takes sometimes more than a week for something to get mailed from our office to someone in Groton. I think it's pretty outrageous, but I haven't, we're doing our best. I could just say that.
Town Councilor, just a point of clarification. If a member of this body wanted to come to your office to have something printed out, would that be allowed?
If a member of the RTM would like to have an item printed out, it's free of charge. If the public asks for something to be printed out, it's 25 cents a copy.
Okay, thank you. Representative Casper.
A page.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Again, that vote, I was quoting Robert's Rules of Order. Actually, I was quoting interpretation of Robert Rules of Order from the book Robert Rules for Dummies. But if one person requests the minutes to be read that were previously published, they are to be read. You cannot, I don't see that you can take a vote. You can waive the minutes, but if one person objects, they must be read. The previous motion is essentially illegal.
Can you tell me where you found that in Robert's Rules?
I can tell you where I found it in Robert's Rules for Dummies.
Hold on, I am looking it up also.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this meeting longer than it is, but I just want to make sure we are doing this correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little ludicrous to go to waive the reading of the minutes and then go through a roll call vote. By the time we took the vote, we could have read the minutes.
True. Town Clerk, do you have a
922?
I'm sorry, one more time.
9.22 in the current Robert's Rules.
9.22. I have 9.22 as an annual meeting. Are you in the 12th edition? Yes.
Yes, I am.
9.22, you're saying?
I missed.
One more time.
If I might.
No, I've got other hands up before you. Representative Thomas, while we're looking for this.
No problem.
I just wanted to align my comments and feelings with Representative Casper. I think I think that's a good point, and maybe we should just carry on with reading the minutes and get on with the meeting.
Councilor Bordelon, your hands up.
I too wanted to align my marks with Representative Casper, but I do also know that several elderly, and you don't have to be elderly to have macular degenerative eye disease, and there are people who enjoy listening to these meetings. And I think for transparency and good governance, it is good to speak things into the record because not everybody can see. And yes, you could print them out, but they're not in book audio form online. And so some people do enjoy being involved as voters and listening to these meetings online. And I think we should give them all the information that they possibly can. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Aubry.
I was just going to mention that while we were talking just the last couple of minutes, I went on to our website and everything that anybody wants to see is right there. Took me all of 2-3 seconds.
Town Clerk, your hand's still up?
Excuse me, I'm on page, it doesn't have a page. It's 48-1 minutes and reports under the current 12th edition of the Robert's Rules. You know, it's the body's decision what they want in their rules. And I can't, if you're asking for my opinion, I'll give it to you, but I don't think you want to hear my opinion.
You're saying 48 points.
It's just 48 minutes and reports of officers. Mhm.
Please give me your opinion.
I certainly, as a longtime member of the RTM and now as town clerk ex officio, I also believe that reports should be read into the record. But I know that there's the time length and so forth. But there's some excellent information to be had from those minutes that somebody might not get if they have to read it from a TV monitor.
Okay, in light of the fact that we have now spent probably 20 minutes on this instead of reading them into the minutes, and there is a question, until I have clarification, I'm going to have them read in short version. I realize.
Okay. Whoops, here we go.
And I apologize because I don't have but I will definitely find that out before the next meeting. Representative Scott, I know you made the motion, and I don't mean to overrule what the body has said because the body clearly said they wanted this to move forward without reading. But I am concerned if we are breaking rules, and I don't want to do that. But we will definitely discuss this in a few moments anyways. So. Representative Opry, you have your hand up?
I'm fine. I didn't take it down.
Okay. So Representative Massett, if you can do a small version of, I'm sorry, the town clerk, you still have your hand up?
Madam Moderator,
I really did find it in Robert's rules and we really should be doing it.
Okay, so we will read them into the minutes. And Representative Massett, you now have the floor.
Madam Moderator, before we start, I had a question.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Representative Frickman, I'm sorry, I couldn't find my hand thing.
That's okay, Representative Frickman.
Yeah, I just had a question. Did Representative Eben clearly ask for the minutes to be read?
Doesn't matter at this point.
She asked,
because if she didn't ask for them to be read, and the motion was already made to pass the motion, and we voted to not read them. I mean, if she was talking, I can't recall going back to it, but if she was just discussing it, but I don't believe she actually asked for it to be read.
I believe she did. That was the town clerk. I believe she did say she would like to have the minutes read.
During the discussion.
I sure did.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Barring Representative Gothier, and then we are moving on to this.
No, I was just going to say that she did ask during discussion prior to the motion being voted on.
Okay. So, Representative Massett, if we could start with December 16th, and you can do a quick version of this.
All right. And before I start, could I just remind everyone that because of Zoom meetings, we are getting a lot of information through email. And it is important that we pay attention to the emails that we get. So saying that, so the meeting of December 16th was called to order at 7 p.m. The members present were Chair Massett, Representative Aubrey, Representative Scott, and Representative Watson. Members absent, Representative Thomas. The first order of business, new business, was a discussion on the current RTM rule speaking time. My minute state current rules do not specifically speak to a time allowed for a representative or citizen to speak. There was discussion on whether They should start with 5 minutes and be allowed 10. And the upshot of that was that the speaking time will be up to the discretion of the moderator, depending on how many people have signed up to speak, because there may be instances in which we do have a lot of people for citizens petition.
Point of order.
Yes.
This is a paraphrase of the minutes. I would love it if the minutes would actually be read.
All righty, here we go, Sima. Speaking time. Current rules do not specifically speak to the time allowed for a representative or a citizen to speak. The moderator of the 30-second RTM, and it probably should be 33rd. Oh no, 32nd, decided in 5 minutes, and representatives are allowed to speak twice under current rules. A new rule is suggested to be added as 8.5.3. Individual debate will occur per latest edition of Robert's Rules, and moderator at his or her discretion may extend time allotted. Under Section 5 of the rules, order of business, Section J, reports of committees. It is suggested to be switched with Section I, liaison committee reports. This suggestion is made in the interest of time. It is also suggested that the RTM ask Susan Austin, Superintendent of Schools, to submit a monthly written report and to attend at least 4 meetings a year, or as pressing issues arise, or at the moderator's request of an in-person presentation. The Department of Economic Development will be asked to submit a monthly written report unless there is an issue that requires an in-person presentation. Moderator Rusk will reach out to these departments to make sure these changes are acceptable to them. Representative Thomas submitted suggestions for new rules to be considered by the committee. Some members of the committee requested that the discussion of these additions take place at the next committee meeting because it was felt that there was not enough time to review the suggestions. These items will be placed on the agenda for the next committee meeting. Let's see. 2021-853 RTM, Resolution Power of Initiative. Representative Scott presented a draft resolution for a power of initiative to be presented to the town council concerning appointing an advisory committee for the selection and review of the town attorney. Representative Watson stated that the selection and review of town attorney is strictly the responsibility of the town council. Representative Massa pointed out that the town charter does not address the formation of such an advisory committee. The town clerk stated that a charter revision commission might have to be seated to address the formation of such a committee. Motion made by Representative Watson, seconded by Representative Aubrey, to present Representative Scott's resolution and the opinions of both the town attorney and an outside attorney, which have been requested by Town Manager Burt, to the entire RTM for discussion. Resolution passed 3-1. Massett, Aubrey, Watson in favor, Scott opposed. Consideration of committee referral items as per referral list. There were none. And the next meeting of this committee will be on December 29th at 7 p.m. via Zoom. The meeting was adjourned at 9:10. Okay, so let me find the next one. Phooey. Okay. The next meeting was on December 29th at 7 p.m. The meeting was called to order by the chair at 7:10 p.m. Roll call, members present, Representative Aubrey, Representative Scott, Representative Thomas, Representative Watson, Representative Massett, RTM moderator Rusk, ex officio, town staff, town clerk, McCousher, and as an ex officio member also, and the visitor was Representative Chacon. New business, 33rd RTM rules and procedures. Rule 3.8, see attachment 2. Procedure for removal of moderator. Discussion centered on current language in charter that speaks specifically to removal of the mayor. Robert's Rules of Order language that speaks to removal of a committee chair. Committee members felt that this was not needed, but is an issue that a Charter Revision Commission could tackle. Representative Thomas feels that this would act as a check and balance per his interpretation of the current charter language. And he feels the RTM should have the same power to remove the moderator as the town council has to remove the mayor. Motion to set aside a rule establishing a procedure for removal of the moderator of the RTM made by Representative Thomas, seconded by Representative Scott. A roll call vote was taken. Representative Aubrey, no. Representative Scott, no. Representative Thomas, yes. Representative Watson, no. Representative Massett, no. There were no abstentions. The motion failed. 4 against and 1 yes. Rule 6.2.8, again, see attachment 2. Procedure for removing members from standing committees and replacing them. Discussion centered on the fact that RTM members indicate which committees they are interested in, and the moderator and the floor leaders make every effort to accommodate their wishes. The assumption being that the members will ask for committees that they are interested in and will bring something to the committee. Motion to add a rule establishing a procedure for removal of members of standing committees and replacing them. Was a roll call vote. Representative Aubrey, no. Representative Scott, no. Representative Thomas, yes. Representative Watson, no. Representative Massett, no. And there were no abstentions. The motion failed. 4 no's and 1 yes. Rule 6.3.1, see attachment 2 again. Procedure to ensure that special committees appointed by the moderator do not duplicate the duties and responsibilities of any standing committee. Rule 6.5.5, see attachment 2. Procedure to allow the RTM body to make a referral to a standing committee if the moderator refuses to make said referral. And this item was removed from consideration by this committee. Rule 9.6, citizens petitions. Motion made by Representative Scott, seconded by Representative Watson, to discuss this at the next special meeting of this committee. The vote was unanimous in favor. The meeting adjourned at 9:10. Okay, let me find the next. It is, okay, I have to go back.
That should be the 3rd of January.
Yeah, that's what yes, I have them. Meeting of January 3rd, meeting called to order at 7 p.m. by the chairperson. Roll call, Representative Aubrey, Representative Scott, Representative Thomas, Representative Watson, and Representative Massett. Also present was Moderator Rusk as an ex officio member and Town Clerk McCousher as an ex officio member. New business. 32nd RTM rules and procedures. Rule 9.6 citizens petitions. Discussion centered on establishing a minimum and maximum speaking time for citizens petitions. Addition of a comma as noted in the proposed change, and to change the pronouns he and she and him and her to citizen. Representative Bright was recognized by the chair and stated, quote, "If it ain't broke, don't fix it," end quote. Representative Cerf, who was also present, did not respond when asked numerous times if she wished to speak. Motion made by Representative Scott, seconded by Representative Watson for Rule 9.6 to be changed as per the changes noted above, and that the minimum and maximum speaking times will be at the discretion of the moderator, to be stated at the beginning of citizens petitions unless there is an objection raised by a member of the RTM from the floor. Was a roll call vote. Representative Aubrey, yes. Representative Scott, yes. Representative Thomas, no. Representative Watson, yes. Representative Massett, yes. No abstentions. The motion passed 4-1. Motion to adjourn made by Representative Aubrey, seconded by Representative Watson. The meeting adjourned at 7:56 p.m. And that's the 3 sets of minutes that everyone, the 3 sets of minutes from this committee.
Thank you, Representative Massett. I'll take a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Representative Thomas?
Second, Adams.
I'm sorry, was the first Thomas?
Jacome.
Jacome, thank you. Okay, I will, is there any discussion? Representative Thomas?
Yeah, Madam Clerk, I'm not exactly sure how to handle the minority report situation. Is that a thing that is going to be attached to the minutes, or how does that work?
I'm sorry. Yes, minority report. Everybody, I believe, has a copy, and it will be attached to the permanent record.
All right. Well, I feel like there are some gaps in the minutes.
Minority report is not official minutes, so we don't need to read them into the record.
Are you discussing the minutes? Do you have a motion on the floor?
I do. I am discussing the minutes.
Sorry, moderator.
Yes. So in regards to the minutes, I'm a little frustrated that the minutes do not reflect the actual text of the proposed rule changes that I had submitted to the.
And actually, I refer to.
Hold on. Representative Thomas has the floor.
I'm sorry.
So I just wanted to say that. So, I feel like I'd like to share those at some point when it's appropriate. So I'll wait for the rules and I'll amend as I see fit to the motion to the draft rules. Now, yeah, there's
Representative
a number of
Thomas,
things.
do you have a correction to the minutes that you want to add?
Well, that's why I wrote a minority report. So I encourage everyone to read it, because there's a lot of detail missing.
Right now, we're just looking at the motion to approve the minutes.
Well, that's what I got to say is I encourage everyone to read the minority report to get a broader context of the situation.
Representative
And I'm willing
Evan.
to read it to anyone who
I'm
wants.
sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Evan.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, because of the way the minutes are read, I just, wanted to note that on the minutes of December 16th, where it says the moderator of the 32nd RTM at her discretion decided on 5 minutes and representatives are allowed to speak twice under current rules. That is entirely incorrect. So although this may reflect what was said at your meeting, it is not actually based in reality. The rules rather of the 32nd RTM allow the moderator at their discretion to allow speaking at a maximum of 10 minutes. And that's, there are several places in the rules where that is determined. So Rule 8.8 and Rule 9.6 specifically delineate 10 minutes as the maximum amount. So my discretion was in limiting that.
Okay,
when
so
there were more speakers. Excuse me?
Just what we're looking at is just approving the minutes. So what
Right,
the
I
minutes
have
say.
more. I'm going to keep going. I just want to say that, since no person is attached to this, I don't know, the way the minutes are written, it doesn't have someone saying this. It's just kind of background information. It says speaking time and it's in error. And I would like everyone to know that's in error. That is not what the moderator of the 32nd RTM did. Furthermore, the minutes of the January 3rd meeting refer to an attachment 2. It would be super helpful if attachment 2, whatever that is, was actually read. I don't have it. Third of all, the minutes of January 3rd also noted that Representative Cerf was repeatedly asked to speak, and yet she's not even mentioned as a guest at that meeting. So either she was or wasn't there. She should be added as a guest if she was. There are a few places where, there could be wordsmithing because there's actual typos, but I won't go into those. But anyway, those are the comments I would like reflected as changes.
Representative Casper.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I just have a question. It seems to work different than I've noticed in a lot of other organizations, in that the committee minutes are generally approved by the committee members themselves at each meeting. The previous meeting, they approved their minutes, and they produce a report that is then sent to the governing body that they report to. I just see the way we do it seems a little strange, and that the minutes are the report, or is there more action items that are recommended, or I'm trying to see what we're actually doing here.
So right now we are just approving the minutes and then we will get to the action items. Representative Casper, am I answering your question?
Not exactly. Is there a report that is generated from the committee?
There is.
Yeah, the rules.
Yes, the rules that were sent to all members.
Okay, with a recommendation for
the changes, correct.
Yep.
Representative Cerf?
Let me unmute. Okay, I attended the first meeting and I'm not in those minutes, and I attended the third meeting and I am not in those minutes except for the fact that I didn't respond when I asked to speak. My microphone was turned off. I went to extreme privacy settings and I forgot that I had do that. It took me a few days to untangle it. Anyway, that's why I didn't respond. But at the first meeting, I clearly remember we had a very long discussion about how long the RTM members could speak. And I absolutely don't remember. And I remember Moderator Rusk was actually, to my immense relief, said that she could handle time limits and things like that. She didn't want to be a slave to the timer. So I don't understand in the reading of these minutes how all of a sudden, I almost think that the first meeting and the third meeting were inverted here, because I do not recall at all. I spoke about this, about how I really wanted more time for the RTM members to speak. And I don't recall that we had discussed that they would be limited to speaking twice or a total of 10 minutes or anything like that. And in these minutes, it sounds like that's what happened. So I'm also a little confused about these minutes. And the fact that I remember what we started with was actually the time that the members would speak. And this wasn't reported by Representative Massett until it was a third meeting. I'm wondering if she didn't invert the first and the third meeting minutes. So I do think there are issues with these minutes. I guess I should go back and look at them, but.
Minutes are not meant to be verbatim. They're just meant to be a synopsis.
Yes, but remember the subject was, and Jill, I recall this because it was the very first thing that was discussed at the first meeting. The first subject that was discussed was how long the members could speak. And we had a rather long discussion about that because it's been a bone of contention on the town council. And you were obviously aware of that. And I do remember that you came in and said you didn't really want to be at the mercy of the timer. So I do remember that was the first thing we discussed at the first meeting. And
Representative Surf, if you look at Thursday, December 16th, the minutes, the first thing discussed is speaking time.
Oh, okay. And is that what Representative Massett just reported in the minutes of the first meeting?
Yes.
Because I thought she started with citizens petitions there, which was much later on. That was, I think, the third meeting, because I was at that meeting too.
If you look at the first, the December 16th new business, the first thing is speaking time.
All right. And I guess we're going to discuss that after we approve these minutes then.
Right. We need to get through the minutes.
Okay. Well, then could you at least add that I was there at the first meeting and that's the third meeting?
I will make sure that correction is made.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Moderator.
Yes, ma'am.
I can just, after we approve the reading of approve the minutes, there is something that Representative Thomas or Representative Eben brought up that I would like to make note of.
Okay. Can we get through the approval of the minutes first?
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Actually, along those lines, I mean,
could we take the vote and then discuss?
Well, hold on. Wait.
Is this about the minutes?
Yes, it is. And if Representative Massett is recognizing the fact that maybe she wants to amend the minutes somehow, should that?
No, I don't.
Right, you want to add some information in?
No, because the information is already there. In the minutes, it says the attachment 2. There is also an attachment 1. Attachment 1 is what you had submitted for your changes. So everything is there. It also includes the fact that you had notified me and the town clerk and the moderator that you would not be at the meeting. So all of that information, that's all there. It's just there as an attachment. And I had asked when you presented that to the committee, I remember that I said, rather than writing this into the body of the minutes, I will ask the clerk to please attach it to the minutes. So all of that is there, even the language, your red
All right.
language, green language. So it's all there.
All right, thank you. I do have some additions then I'd like to add in.
Okay, let's, Madam Moderator, could we vote on the minutes and then do the discussion?
I think if we're approving, we have to move, I'd like to amend the minutes to some extent.
Are the minutes not reflective? This is my question: are the minutes not reflective of the general idea of what happened at the meeting?
Oh,
because that's what we need to do. It is a reflection of what was said at the meeting.
Yeah, I believe that depends on your definition of general and how that reflects. I would just like to say that in the December 29th meeting, I did try to identify the two main components of the debate over proposed rule 3.8 on removal of the moderator, saying that there's two components. One was principle and the other was process, whether we agreed in principle or whether we're debating process.
And I think that is something that we can add in discussion. I would like to get to the discussion period, get the minutes approved and move on to discussion. Representative Thomas, do you have more?
No,
Point of order.
I'm good. I'm good. Carry on.
Representative Scott, what's your point?
The minutes cannot reflect every aspect of every discussion that happens at these meetings. Quite frankly, the minutes really ought to say Rule 72B was brought up for the following changes, or motion was made by Scott, seconded by Massad, all voted in favor or voted down type of a thing. There's no way any of these minutes for any of these committee meetings are going to be able to reflect the play-by-play, blow-by-blow. And I think we're getting so far into the weeds with this tonight. And any of the things that Representative Thomas or anybody else wants to bring out into the floor, as Representative Massad brings out the line-by-line items, that's when these discussions and these play-by-plays can come back out for further discussion. But we just can't, we can't continue to go down this road with these minutes.
Sure. Thank you, Representative. Representative Weaver, you have your hand up. Is there something more that you need to change on the minutes?
It's not that I need to change on the minutes. I've just been sitting here. We've been going over this for 40 minutes, and the participants within the meeting have dissension about the minutes and what occurred in the minutes. And it's almost like it would be one thing if we were only reading 1 week of minutes, but they're reading 3 weeks of minutes. And one would think that as a body that they would have come to an agreement before they came to this level. And the dissension, how can we agree on minutes that the parties themselves have dissension about? It's just a lot of time. We're talking about time and allowing people to speak. And there's been 40 minutes just on this topic, and we have so much more to cover this evening.
Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I really would ask, I don't know where this attachment 2 is. Maybe it certainly isn't in my email labeled as such. It isn't in my hard copy packet I have here. Could you please read it, since it's very difficult to have minutes that refer to another document? I have no idea, and I would assume the public doesn't either have any idea what attachment 2 is. Is it very long? What day was it sent on? What is the name of the file? And maybe the attachment name should be the same as the name of the file.
Representative Massad. Oh, Representative Massad, it was attachment to the minority report.
No, attachment 2 is it's those issues that Representative Thomas had raised.
Okay.
And as I went through the minutes, and when I read the minutes, I would say, see attachment 2, because that contains the body of what Representative Thomas had proposed.
Could you please
on-
read attachment 2 so people know what it is? Because it is not
Attachment-
possible.
Go ahead.
It's,
Do you want me to read it? I have it right in front of me if you want me
please,
to.
thank you, Madam Clerk.
I think
Okay.
this is all out of order.
Do you want me to read it, moderator? Madam Moderator?
Since
No.
it is part of the minutes and it has been stated, yes, until we move and decide, until I find it in Robert's rules that it does not need to be. If we
Okay.
can read it quickly, and then we're going to move the vote.
Okay,
It's
well,
long, and that's why.
attachment 2 is a list of items that, it was like, it's actually Representative Thomas's note. So first bullet is YouTube title date for video needs to be edited to 12/16/20 to 12/16/21. Minutes should reflect that my absence 12/16 was not unexpected or spontaneous. For weeks preceding the 12/16 7 p.m. meeting date and time, I had communicated to the chair and the clerk, along with fellow committee members, my inability to attend that specific date and time. We need to enter all committee organizational email threads leading up to 12/16 meeting. Agree with 7 p.m. time change. Agree with final positioning on speaking time and term limits for RTM members. Agree with adding preamble with Robert's rules as default. Agree with changing order of agenda items such as liaison reports to come after committee reports. Switch J, it's in parentheses, switch J and I. Agree with committee chairs submitting reports without reading full minutes. Would suggest we allow for chairs to present a condensed synopsis of minutes and reports with full minutes and reports provided for members beforehand, along with being entered into the record along with the RTM minutes. Agree with resolution review as regular part of the agenda. Disagree with removing superintendent and economic development reports from monthly frequency, but agreed to compromise of moderator's discretion to make accommodations if situations warrant. That was the one.
Okay, I'm going to move the question. So we are taking a motion to approve the minutes of the Rules and Procedures Committee. Madam Moderator, will you please do a roll call vote?
As amended, point of order.
As amended, thank you. Actually, can we just do, no, let's do a roll call vote since we're on Zoom. Thank you.
Okay. There was a point of order. I don't know if you heard that.
The point of order was as amended, and I changed that. Yes, as
Okay.
amended.
All right. For the minutes of the three meetings of the RTM Temporary Rules Committee, yes, no, or abstention. Adams?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Burrell?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Casper?
Abstain.
Surf?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Pop?
Yes.
Crockett Hubbard?
Yes.
Dean Shinbrot?
Yes.
Evan?
Abstain.
Richie?
Yes.
Gothier?
Abstain.
Guadapiero?
Yes.
Gustafson?
Yes.
Hanscom?
Abstain.
Ivy?
Yes.
Jacome?
Yes.
Bassett?
Yes.
Oops, not here. Norman?
Yes.
Pacino?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Demeraro?
Yes.
Thomas?
No.
VC Williams?
Yes.
Watson? Watson?
Yes.
Weaver?
No.
Wells? Representative Wells?
Oh, no.
No.
White?
Yes.
Whitehouse?
No.
Whitney? Representative Whitney?
Is really?
Representative Whitney?
Yes. Must offer. Anyone who votes no.
I don't see him. Okay, Representative Frickman
Yes.
and Rusk.
Yes.
25 yes, 4 no. Oops, 4 no and 4 abstentions.
Nobody called my name. Nobody said Aubrey.
Oh, I have you as a yes.
No. That's what I would have voted.
Yeah, I thought I heard you say yes. Okay,
No problem.
there we go. 25 yes, 4 no, 4 abstentions.
Thank you.
Minutes approved.
Okay, the next thing on our budget or on our agenda is the power of initiative. So that was part of this discussion. So we will do that and then we'll move on to
I have a point of order of minutes.
Yes. What's your point, Representative Casper?
Well, again, referring to Robert's Rules for Dummies, it is never in order for a member to simply object to the approval of minutes. If a member has some objection to the content of minutes, he must offer a correction.
I believe that people offered their corrections and didn't agree.
Then the minutes, once there are no more corrections to the minutes, it is proper to just say the minutes are approved as read, as amended, as read, distributed, or corrected.
Okay.
It's another waste of time to have a roll call vote on something that's procedural.
Okay. As noted. Thank you. Representative Gauthier?
So I'm sorry, this is just a question for clarification. Was the acceptance of the minutes also acceptance of the new rules, or does that need to be a separate vote?
That's a total different vote. We just accepted the minutes.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Representative Hanscom.
Oops, sorry, I was just pushed the wrong button.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are on to 2021-853, RTM Power of Initiative. Representative Massett, are you comfortable with presenting this?
I had to find it. The new one. No.
The resolution creating an advisory committee for the selection of the town attorney.
Okay, if you don't mind, would you read it? I'm working off of two things here.
Let me pull it up.
Oh, here, I have it.
Okay, thank you.
I found it. Okay. Resolution creating an advisory committee for the selection of the town attorney.
I don't believe we need to read this into the record because it was read into the record last meeting.
Okay.
Representative Scott, do you want to give a little bit of information on this? And then town manager Bert, I believe, has some information for us.
Has that been seconded?
Has it been seconded to
discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll second.
I'll second.
I'll put a motion on the floor to discuss the resolution creating an advisory committee for the selection of the town attorney.
There you go.
I second.
Thank you. Okay. Representative Scott.
So, yeah, I read this into the record at the last RTM meeting. This was an effort to create an advisory committee, strictly an advisory committee of consisting of members of the RTM, town council, the town manager, Board of Ed, and the town clerk's offices to have a very public process when it comes to the selection of the town attorney. We're under a bit of a time crunch from the date of the election to make that appointment. Although I believe now that I've read the charter a few hundred times that that time crunch is just to have someone seated. It doesn't necessarily preclude us from still taking that process out to bid and perhaps replacing the town attorney further down the road. So again, this is an advisory committee. It's a power of initiative situation. So we're basically asking the town council to follow our lead or accept our request that this advisory committee be created. And I'd like to see something like this move forward. Now, that said, the council did take some steps at last night's council meeting to put the town attorney out to bid. There was some debate back and forth with respect to adopting portions of this. I think it was Councilor Baumgartner who made a motion to put the same, or pretty much the same people that I had suggested on an advisory commission of their own. That long and short, after a couple of different votes, I think they decided on a couple of councilors being part of the of their own review committee. I think that my suggestion here is a good one. I don't think it violates the town charter if we were to adopt it, and I guess I'd like to hear what other people have to say on it.
Before we move forward, sorry, I just lost my camera. Before we move forward, I would like to talk with or have Town Manager Burt give an overview of the town attorney's opinions.
Point of clarification real quick there, Madam Moderator.
Representative Thomas.
Yes, I just, and just to build on what Representative Scott said, the vote last night at the town council, ultimately the vote came down, only one counselor is going to be on that panel. Just to, be firm on that. It's only one counselor that's going to be on the panel reviewing the.
There was a lot of back and forth last night, so I can remember the number.
I mean, a number of counselors were trying to have like 4, then there was 3, 2, and then it just came down to 1. So there's that. Thank you.
Thank you. Town Manager Burt.
Yes, it was a little confusing. They did end up with just one, along with a slew of other people. But they did look at possibly having the moderator and floor leaders, and they turned that down. I'm not going to speak. You have both the town attorney's opinion as well as the outside unaffiliated opinion that say it's not permissible. If it did go to the town council, they would not have to do anything with it. It would be up to them, because it wouldn't be a valid one. And basically the town attorney's opinion, stands when for a legal opinion with them. Other than that, I'm not gonna. It's this is a RTM thing, and I don't believe it's able to be done. And I do know they can ignore it, but that's entirely up to the council and Bert's the RTM.
Thank you. Okay, I will open this up for discussion. Representative Scott, I saw your hand up first.
Thank you. I was trying to find my hands up button. If this body were to vote in favor of the resolution, I'm finding it a little stunning that a unelected town attorney could veto the whole thing. What would be? It just strikes me that there's a process in place. We've made a decision. The council, and I know this is a little out into the weeds here, but if we make a decision, strikes me the charter says the council's got to act on it, and that the town attorney shouldn't be able to veto by legal opinion something that we've done.
They wouldn't be vetoing. They would be given the advice that they don't have to do anything with it. Now, you did see the other opinion said, yes, they should at least just acknowledge it. And then, so it'd be up to the council. Basically, it would just be a recommendation to the council. It wouldn't be a binding power of initiative. And then they would take it as they will.
Representative Weaver, your hand's up.
Yes, I was just kind of curious as far as normally you have to have, in order to replace somebody, regardless of their position or status or firm, there has to be a show cause to replace someone. Further, if there's a contracted legal binding contract, which I don't know how our town attorney is selected, or how, like, what would be the cause to even replace our town attorney? Somebody would have to justify if they were ineffective. Why are we putting this effort forward without showing that there's a show cause to even do that in the first place?
Answer that.
I would appreciate it.
Okay, I wasn't sure. If the moderator
Representative Scott, yes, go ahead.
The town attorney is an appointed position every 2 years as per our charter. There's not a contract. It's an appointment. And historically, it's been the same firm or an individual from the same firm that's been appointed time after time. And over the last couple of years, there's been some public outcry over some of the decisions that have been made. So it feels appropriate after the last campaign that instead of just rubber stamping the same individual and firm, that we take a broader look at the appointment of the town attorney and see who else is out there and what they might offer. And that's how we've gotten to here. But to my understanding, there's no contract. The charter prescribes of 120 days from the date of the general election to make that appointment until such time as someone else is qualified and seated in the position. So that's how the charter is read. I don't know if that answers your question.
If I may, so you just made general commentary about dissatisfaction. So in order to replace anyone, again, it would have to be specific and written as to what their disagreements were or how that they didn't meet the needs of what they were doing for the town. And if this particular attorney has relative knowledge about our town and the functionality of it, we would still need to make a high critical opinion of how to replace them and what they're doing that's inappropriate. And is it a general consensus of a few people that they're not doing their job, or just the majority? And I would say that before we replace anybody, we would have to have a summary of what the general discontent is before replacing a firm that's been representing our town for a very long time.
Just Representative Weaver, hold on, you're not being recognized. Town manager, Bert.
Yeah, that's not with the town charter process. That's not necessary to make any kind of claim. It's just like when any other contract would run out, you would bid it back out. Two things. One, I neglected to mention that we would be televising interviews with the bidders to make it a very public process. And then two, I caution, let's not get into anything about the performance of town council or with town attorneys, because we could very much get ourselves into legal trouble. There should not be, and if anybody says something negative all around, they really have to distance themselves from the process. So thank you.
Representative Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Question for the town manager. I was reviewing the attorney's opinions and I was just trying to find the exact reference to the charter where it describes and defines the process by which the town council interviews and reviews the town attorney. Or, you know.
It was a review that it's up to them on how they do it, and then they can choose how to do it.
All right, so the charter itself does not specify a process?
No, other than it's up to them.
So again, that's sort of like where I have trouble accepting the attorney's opinion, in the sense that, you know, they say it's not allowed under the charter. However, they can't articulate where in the charter it says what the process is that precludes the RTM from participating in an advisory capacity. It's basically just, it's up to the two bodies if they want to have that kind of cooperative relationship or not.
It's
Correct?
entirely up to the town council. So if you read it, it's very clear that it's up to the town council. Well, you may see it differently, but I believe it's clear.
But as an RTM, we could present ourselves and say, hey, could we be part of this process? And the town council could say, no, thank you. Or they could say, yeah, sure, come on board.
Yeah, I already said that. Yeah, it just wouldn't be a power of initiative. It'd be a request or recommendation.
Right,
yeah.
You know, so yeah. So my frustration a little bit with the attorney's opinions is that it seems to be misleading in the sense that, it says that it's not possible. It should be at the discretion of the council. And this power of initiative resolution would just be our official request to be seated at the table.
Yeah, I don't think it was misleading, but if you had trouble with it, that's fine. I didn't, but okay.
All right. So just to be clear for everyone here that maybe didn't dive into the weeds of it, it is up to the town council to decide whether or not we as a body can have a seat at the table. And this resolution would just basically be us knocking at the door saying, can we come in?
And to mention, they are aware of the power of initiative and they still chose to move on last night. So I think, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're muted, Madam Moderator.
Thank you. My apologies. Representative Surf. You're muted now. Representative Surf, you're muted.
Unmute, sorry. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, I wish I had sent a letter to the RTM that I sent to the town council yesterday before the meeting, where I outline what for me has been 2 decades of dissatisfaction with the way this town attorney handles our affairs. This stems way back from my 3 terms on the RTM and my term on the town council.
Point of order, we just discussed that we probably don't want to discuss our personal dissatisfaction with the attorneys.
Yeah, this is not personal. Almost everyone I speak to has the same opinion. So I'm just saying there is some validity to what Representative Thomas and Representative Scott have proposed, and I feel that they have proposed it in a very humble and a very sensible way. They just want an advisory committee. They want that the RTM be part of the process because up until now it has been very difficult to get a transparent process into the renewal of this town attorney's contract for the last 30 years. And I feel that considering all the things that have happened, and I did have a set of 4 or 5 issues that were problematic, and you said we can't go into it, so we won't go into it. But I guarantee you on my honor that the set of issues that are problematic are something that I share with lots and lots of citizens across town, taxpayers, and people who have spent an enormous amount of time in the last year trying to fight what has happened and which may cost the Groton taxpayers lots of money. This is completely justified.
Please be careful. Please be careful, Representative Sir.
Okay, it's not frivolous, okay? And I think that to have a seat at the table in the selection of the town, whoever's going to be the town attorney is a reasonable request. Now, thankfully, our town manager, Mr. Burt, came to the rescue last night, and for which I thank him enormously, and offered very generously to do videos of the interviews, put out the RFP and do videos of the interviews so that we'll at least be able to look at the videos and form a sense of the different responses. And really, that's all we ask. And anybody who tries to make this out to be that the RTM wants to step in and take over control of this process is really not doing us any kind of justice here. I do think both Representative Scott and Representative Thomas, and I think they've sort of worked together on this, are being very reasonable, and it was a reasonable request. Now, it got denied, but we have another chance thanks to Town Manager Burt, and I strongly recommend that the RTM do pay attention. I mean, we're supposed to have eyes and ears open to what the council is doing and to be, the plan B in case things aren't going right. So,
Thank you,
that's my 2
Representative.
bits. Yeah.
Thank you, Representative Sir. Representative Gustafson. Representative
Yeah, I just had a quick question for the town manager. So in the current process, how many people are involved with decision making as far as hiring the town attorney?
First of all, the towns, we have a purchasing agent that kind of coordinates everything. Give me 1 second, let me pull something up if you will. It's not here. What's been to receive, there's a panel that the town council recommended last night. That includes, hold on 1 sec here. Let's see. The town manager, the human resources representative, a planning department representative, a town council member, an assessment division of finance representative, the tax collector, and a public works representative. Once the people are firms are brought in to interview, it will be filmed so everybody can see the interviews, and then the relevant application bids would go to the town council for review.
All right, thanks. That
And
seems
they have the final decision.
that seems like a more than adequate process. Thanks.
Representative Aubrey.
I just wanted to reiterate what I've said before. I respect that, John and his feelings about it, but it is not the position of the RTM to be doing this. We have our direction as to what we are supposed to do as RTM members, and it's not us to do the council's bidding. We are here just to make decisions as far as monetary requests. The council, it's their job. It is not our job. We are the RTM. And you're overstepping when you do something like this. You may be bothered by it. We all might have been bothered by it, but it still is not the position of the RTM to be making recommendations. Thank you very much.
Town clerk, do you have a point of clarification?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I was just, curious. Our town charter really is specific on this, and I don't believe that the town attorney really got the question properly when they were asked to give an opinion. I don't believe that the RTM ever had in that resolution that the RTM would be appointing the town attorney. That was not the motion that I heard or read. So that's one point. So I believe what's on the floor now that was stated was an advisory council or advisory committee, and it didn't mean just for this term. It means every term. So there would be this vehicle in place to review whenever the council wanted to review. It's the council that makes the appointment, though, and I think that was pretty clear. And you must remember that that our town charter speaks exactly what the town attorney, who the town attorney works for, and that is the departments, all the departments, the offices, the town board of ed, town clerk's office, the RTM, the town council, all the whole kit and caboodle. And so there should be representation from each body that the town attorney is the legal advisor for. That would be council, RTM, town manager, town clerk, department directors, ABC, including that would be agencies, boards, and commissions, including board of ed. So that that really makes. I think that's where the council is trying to get to, but they didn't quite get there. So, anywho, those are the points that I think were talked about in committee, and I just think the town attorney got the wrong message on what the RTM was trying to do. So,
town manager Burke.
Madam Moderator. Yeah, that's not the case. She understood it, as well as the outside attorney. The town attorney is viewing, and I can bring her on. If there's any further questions about legalities, I will bring her on so she can answer them. But, we're not attorneys. I'm not an attorney. I would want her opinion. But we did have the outside attorney randomly had the same conclusions. They understood it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So if we continue, I will bring the attorney on to answer questions.
Okay, I'm going to move to people who haven't asked questions yet. So Representative Watson.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, I was on the town council for a long time, and it is the town council's responsibility to appoint the town. I mean, it's point blank. They could accept the fact that we might ask them to do something or not, but the chart is pretty clear that it's their responsibility to appoint the town attorney. Now, I can say in the 27 years I was on the council, there were a few times that we put RFPs out and we did bring firms in and interview them. It's not something that hasn't been done before. Maybe by bringing this up in the RTM has gotten the council's attention. And it sounds like they've come up with a pretty transparent process to do maybe what might have ended up in anyways. It doesn't sound like it's going to be, well, there are a lot of complications to the town attorney. The town attorney's responsibility is to appoint other attorneys for the town once that person is the town attorney, including the attorney for the Board of Education. The other complicating factor to the whole thing, and I'm not justifying one thing or another, is there's lots of things going on that whoever the town attorney is now would have to continue on with. I mean, labor negotiations or other things that are going on. I think the responsibility lies with the council. I mean, maybe they've gotten our attention and they are going through this process. And I think it's a good thing. Maybe they are going through the process. And again, it's transparent. The town manager said, everybody's going to be able to see it. So that's my 2 cents, and I'll pass.
Thank you. Representative Massett.
This is for the town manager. And are there specific rules regarding the issuance of RFPs and that process? Is the RFP process supposed to be an open process, or do you not know?
Well, generally speaking, I mean, it's all, of course, subject to FOIA and open. It would be a new thing to we're actually going to televise the interviews. So trying to make it as very open and transparent as possible.
Okay. And then I have another question. Today, and I'm very sorry, can't remember who I got it from, but there was an email and it referenced the fact that the RTM is responsible for any expenditures over $10,000 and trying to make a leap from the $10,000 limit to the fact that it costs the town more than $10,000 for attorney's fees. Is that a reasonable?
It's never been handled that way. Once a budget's set, it's entirely within with that budget. What's done, it's entirely up to the town. Yeah,
all right.
It doesn't work that way.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Moderator?
You're muted.
I think you're muted again.
My apologies. Representative Scott.
So I've been listening to the commentary. I think some of the key takeaways here is that this is an advisory committee. When I put this together, I recognize full well that anything this committee, if it was to be seated, recommended to the town council could be completely thrown in the trash, and that the town council can do whatever they want with it. But the long and short of it is I wanted to create a public process where the town attorney was put out to bid, and meetings were held that the public could watch, participate in, not necessarily comment, but at least participate or observe the process in which we went through. And that's the ultimate goal of this process, is that we create a public process involving all of the different people, as the town clerk just stated, that there are multiple organizations throughout the town that rely on the town attorney, and so the process would include much of those individuals that would use the town attorney on a regular basis. I think what we're seeing here, we've got legal opinions from the town attorney on this whole process. I don't necessarily agree with the legal opinions as they've been presented, But this town tends to get run on legal opinion. And I think because of that, we really should be taking a hard look at the town attorney, and whether it's the public process here. I agree with Councilor or Representative Watson, rather, that we seem to have gotten the attention of the town council as they appear to be taking some action. It was a committee of the whole meeting. So hopefully this comes up on the agenda for a regular council meeting and gets passed, their version of something. But I, as we used to say in Hartford, this is a good bill, it ought to pass. And that's how I'll leave it.
Okay.
Representative Wells. Representative Wells?
I rather question whether any attorney who would talk to a committee of a body that is not seeking a job from a body that is not in a position to hire them. It strikes me we'd get some unethical ambulance chasers who are the only ones who'd be willing to talk to our committee.
I'm going to call you out of order to imply that our attorneys are ambulance chasers, I think is a little derogatory. Did you have anything else, Representative Wells?
That's it. I just didn't think, we don't hire them. And how would an attorney come to interview for a job for someone who's not hiring them?
Representative Thomas?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. To that point, actually, that Representative Wells just brought up, I would answer that, they're interviewing with the bodies, the stakeholders who they're going to be advising. I mean, no, it would be an advisory committee body only, true, but the onus would be on them to leave a good impression with us so that we would, not raise static with the town council. Now, the town council, of course, duly noted and, broadly announced, the town council has ultimate authority. They don't have to listen to our advice if this thing was to pass and come to fruition. But I think it's important, as is constructed here, that the stakeholders that depend on the town attorney to provide opinion to those bodies has some sense of who is coming in and some accessibility to the process. Whether that those comments and advice are heeded or not, that's up to the town council, completely. And to the other point that Representative Aubrey brought up, one of the common pushbacks on this idea is that, we're a fiduciary oversight body only. One, I think that is a little bit of misconception, the way things are written. Two, the way the town attorney operates, no, maybe the way the budget's constructed, those are line items, but still, the point is we pay for the services, and we do also pay for, if those services are rendered well, or if those services are rendered, not so well. So, there's money coming out. So, as a fiduciary oversight body, I think it is within our purview to be knocking at the door here and asking for a seat at the table to at least offer our opinion. So I think it's just a matter of due diligence. And honestly, I think the RFP, I think, the town council, there was a change. There has been some change up there. So, they definitely, and there was a topic of the campaign, discussing the town attorney's relationship to other items in town. And so there is a feeling up there that something has changed. And I think the RFP process should be maybe a regular part of the process. It should be every 2 years. It shouldn't be a big monumental thing that we might change our attorney. I think it's just due diligence, for every new council to take a look around, and see who's out there and who they might want to work with as a body. And, since we're all kind of working together to run the town of Groton, and we are not equal, but parallel bodies, I think it would be just good due diligence on the part of the council to open the door and have us come to dinner. Thank you.
Representative Bailey.
Thank you very much. Well, the whole situation is just that the town attorney is supposedly only to protect the interests of the town. It's not a political position at all. And the shop around, yeah, I can understand that also, but it's totally the responsibility of the town council. And taking on other responsibilities will put in a situation that causes more confusion. So let the responsibilities be on those, or the council's responsibility. We take care of our responsibility. I know it sounds like kind of funny. Hey, they take care of that, we take care of this. But there's a reason for that. Because if there's too many hands in the pot, it's just going to make everything confusing. So we already know that town attorney protects the interests of the town, and it is the responsibility of the council to make that decision. It would be like having the council coming into the RTM and telling us what to do. There'd be too much interference the way I would see that. So I think the responsibilities lie on the elected officials for their position of those sole responsibilities that they are responsible for. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Representative Chase.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Mr. Burt, is it, are any other contracted positions in the town that go out to RFP?
Well, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Are there any other?
Well, again, it's always up to the town council. Like, for instance, with this 4 years ago, when this council came in, they did go out for RFP and they intend to do it again. The last night, they also discussed the town auditor, which is a very similar type of thing that the council points. So that was also discussed last night, and they decided not to bid it out.
Okay, because it's really good business practice to go out to RFP for some of these positions, especially auditor, every 2 to 4 years.
And we did it a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Okay. Oops, sorry. Representative Jacome.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. So I'm just over here, I don't think this is a job for this body to decide. I think if it's something the council wants, I think they could start the process. And I think if they get a majority to include us, but I don't think that's our decision. Just looking at the charter, which, for a lot of new members, that's something we should be looking at, under the glossary for RTM, we're an elected body which approves budgets, accepts or rejects ordinance, and exercises power granted under Connecticut General Statute and Town Charter. So, and under 4.1.2, our powers are explicitly stated there. I'm not going to read it there, but I would suggest reading that. And under 4.5 power initiative, I was interested, it says the RTM, upon a majority vote of its total membership, shall have the power to propose to the city any legislative ordinance or resolution, except an ordinance or resolution appointing or removing officials or specifying the compensation of hours or work or officials or employees or pension or retirement agreement, or expressly directing the council to appropriate funds. So my understanding a little bit is that we are kind of directing and being involved in that process. So whether or not you agree with me, that's the way I look at it. We have to look at the charter as it supersedes the town and RTM rules. So I just think we shouldn't supersede. This is the council's decision, and we are not a body to do that. So I just want to reiterate that. I urge the body to not support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Jacome. Seeing no other hands raised, the motion on the floor is to accept a resolution creating an advisory committee for the selection of the town attorney. We will do a roll call vote. So if you are voting yes, you are voting yes to accept this power of initiative. No would be no, you're not. Any questions? Or I'm sorry, town clerk.
Okay, I'm ready. Yes, no, or abstention? Adams?
Yes.
Okay. Bailey?
No.
Burrell?
Yes.
Bright?
Yes.
Casper?
No.
Genevieve Surf? Can't hear you. You're muted. Just nod your head yes or no. Said yes. Chase?
No.
Pop?
No.
Crockett Hubbard?
Yes.
Dean Shinbrod?
No.
Evan?
Yes.
Richie? Representative Fritchie, I don't see you. Representative Fritchie, are you there?
I am not seeing him, Madam
I'm
Moderator.
not seeing him either. All right, so.
Or Madam Clerk, sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Oh,
I'm
you
sorry.
said yes? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had to get
Thank you.
unmuted.
Okay, that's okay. Representative Gauthier,
No.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Gustafson,
No.
oops, she's gone. Hanscom,
No.
Ivy,
Abstain?
Jacome,
No.
Massett,
No.
Merritt. Oops, not here. Norman,
No.
no. Aubrey,
No.
Pacino,
No.
Ray,
No.
Russ, oops, nope, not yet. Scott,
Yes.
Cimarero,
No.
Thomas,
Yes.
BC Williams,
No.
Watson,
No.
Burr,
No.
Wells,
No.
White,
No.
Whitehouse,
Yes.
Whitney. Okay, Rusk,
No.
Frickman.
No.
Okay, that's 22 no and 11 yes, 1 abstention.
That motion fails. So we are on to the 33rd RTM rules and procedures. You should have all gotten a copy of the new proposed rules. I will have Chair Massett walk through the changes. And I'm going to be cognizant of the time. It is already 9:44. So I realize we may or may not get through this completely tonight, but we're going to hope to try to.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I think this is what I need.
Representative White, I see your hand, but right now we are starting. Actually, I'm going to take a motion before you do that. I'm going to take a motion to accept the proposed changes and a second, and then we will start discussion.
So moved, Gauthier.
Proposed changes.
So Representative Gauthier made the motion. And who is the second, please?
I'll be the second, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Representative Scott. Representative White, are you meaning to keep your hand up?
Yes, actually.
Okay, can we go through the discussion first and then we'll have conversation?
Yeah, I just have to leave because I have work to do for my newspaper right now. And I have to do that. So I'm gone for the night.
Okay, thank you, Representative White.
My pleasure.
Okay, Representative Massett.
Okay. I am town clerk. The proposed changes are in blue, I take it.
That's correct.
Okay.
So you start with the preamble.
Yes. The preamble, which is new, if I can read it. We, the members of the RTM, subscribe to the laws and policies of the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Connecticut, and the Groton Town Charter, the rules of the RTM, and the most recent edition of Robert's Rules of Order to govern the matters that come before the organization. So that's the first proposed rule, which would add a preamble. Do we want to take these one at a time?
I think the proposal was to accept the rules as amended. So we'll go
Moderator?
through all of the rules. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Representative Scott was asking if he could share his screen, which would be the rules.
Oh, okay.
That's fine with me. That'd be great.
Make it easier for me to read. Thank you. Okay. Can everyone see?
I believe everybody's on, there's no one on the phone, so everybody should be able to see the screen.
Okay, all right. So, should I go through everything? No, I think maybe just go
Just the
through it
changes?
and read the changes.
Yes, please.
Okay, section 1, which is roll call. The moderator shall take the chair at the hour for which the meeting has been called or to which the meeting was adjourned. She shall immediately call the RTM to order, have the clerk of the RTM take roll call, and if a quorum is present, proceed to business. New part, it is suggested to start regular meetings at 7 p.m. This will require a vote for the year schedule.
Madam Moderator, I'm just to clarify what Representative Massett just said. It's not an actual change to the rule. It's actually a change to the yearly schedule.
Okay.
The 32nd RTM approved the 33rd schedule with the meeting starting at 7:30. So that would have to, you'd have to have an agenda on your agenda item on a future meeting that has the entire schedule with us, again, with the time set at 7 o'clock. That's up to the RTM.
Okay, all right. With that, depending on how the vote goes tonight, would that take place for our next meeting, or does that take a little bit of time to kick in?
Well, the next meeting would have the meeting schedule on the agenda. It would still start at
Okay.
7:30. And then
Right.
every meeting after that would change.
Okay, all right, great.
And by the way, everywhere it says it is suggested, those are not rule changes. Those are suggestions from the committee.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Next is under. Keep
Can you
going.
guys hear me? We can see you,
yes.
but right now we're going through the changes.
When do you want amendments? That's what I'm asking. That's why I had a point of clarification. Usually you would.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say point of clarification. I don't think that your mic was on. So we will do amendments after we go through the initial recommendations from the committee, and then we'll do amendments.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm
Okay.
sorry, your mic, we couldn't hear you.
Under section 5, order of business, it is suggested that the EDC submit a monthly written report unless there is an issue that requires an in-person presentation. Under H, report of the superintendent of schools, it is suggested that RTM, as superintendent of schools, to submit a written report and to attend 4 meetings a year, or as pressing issues arise or is required by the moderator. Under I, under liaison reports, and J, reports of committees. It is suggested that J be moved to I and I be moved to J. It's just a switch in that instance.
Representative Massett, just point of clarification. So what the committee is suggesting is that you take out all the suggestions at the end and make this happen. So the reading would be economic development with
yes.
EDC
Okay,
will
let me
submit
go
a
back.
monthly written report unless there is an issue that requires a in-person presentation.
Right.
Is that what you are? Okay.
Yes, yes. So do you want me to read it like it is suggested, or just leave that part out and just go
I would
for
read
it?
I would read it as you would state it on.
Okay.
And Representative Evan, were you calling a point of order? Or are you?
I just, sorry, I wanted to know when you wanted amendments. I'll lower my hand. That was.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. And then it's in the same section. It is section J and section I would be switched. Then the next section is rule 9.6.3.1. Yes. And this is duplication of standing committees' functions. If no member of the affected standing committee from the other political party is willing or able to serve on the special committee, then any RTM member from the other political party who is willing and able to serve on the special committee shall be considered an appropriate substitute. Okay. And then I think we move down to 9.6.
Can we make a friendly amendment just to take the D out of that?
Yes.
Appropriate substitute. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we're taking amendments now?
I'm sorry.
No. We're
it was a typo.
I have small things I'd like to add too.
Okay, I will. We'll wait till the end. My apologies.
Okay, and then our next one is 9.6, I think.
8.5.3.
No. Okay, go back, John. Let's work together. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. Under Rule 8.5, it would be 8.5.3. Individual debate will occur per latest edition of Robert's Rules, and the moderator at his or her discretion may extend time allotted. Okay, and then Rule 9.6 under citizens petition. And that is, this is just mainly a change of words to strike out he, she, and add a citizens, and that's, that will need, the spelling will need to be corrected. And in the next line, the same, strike out he, she, and add citizens. And in the last line, again, strike out not to exceed 10 minutes and strike out he, she, and add citizens. And that would take care of that one. And I think, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. So just quickly, I think in the last rule 9.6, when we talk about citizens petitions, I think it should be CITIZEN apostrophe S, possessive.
Okay.
And then there was the correction
I don't
of,
think, sorry, that you wouldn't want it a possessive. It's because it's citizen. You put
that's right,
citizen
yeah, I'm
as
sorry,
positive.
yep,
As apostrophe because
because
it's
What are we
broad.
changing
Broad.
it now? If we're changing it
Broad.
now,
okay, I'm sorry.
I-
I jumped
Representative-
when I-
hold on,
when I
point-
should not have.
Okay. Representative Massett, is there anything else that you would like to
No.
discuss prior to opening the floor for discussion?
No,
Okay.
I think, but should we take a vote first? Or
No,
have
we
an
need to open for
amendment?
discussion. We
Okay.
need to open for discussion. Okay, Representative Eben.
thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I would have a few changes I'd like to suggest in section 1.1. And it's probably in other sections as well. It's notably also in section 9.6. I recommend striking all references to his or her or he and she and adding a they. It's more gender neutral and a much better way to go these days to use a gender neutral pronoun. So that's my first suggestion. My second point, and it was reflected in the minutes, I didn't mention it there, but under section 5, it notes, it is suggested that the RTM as superintendent of schools to submit a monthly written report and to attend 4 meetings a year or as pressing issues arise or is required by the moderator. The charter under section 4.1.3 actually states that no member of the RTM should deal directly with town or Board of Ed staff. I was really surprised to see that Moderator Rusk has taken it upon herself to kind of deal with staff presentations. That's something, that is specifically forbidden. We need to go through the town manager or the town clerk for any correspondence with those folks. So especially to imply that the moderator has the ability to require anyone to attend these meetings, I think is a little off mark. So I would certainly delete that, although certainly having discussion about how often these presentations might occur is great. But I would just say from my experience, there are times when the Board of Ed is really excited about presenting and other times when they're maxed out, and it may not occur on the schedule of the RTM. So I think that my recommendation would be to leave these things as standing agenda items and just try to make sure if there's allow maximum flexibility for this body to have folks delivering those presentations when there's something that they want to report, and also when our own agenda is such that it's not too maxed out. So,
Madam Moderator?
Yes.
If I may,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, our discussion in committee centered on the fact that a lot of times we would have the superintendent and economic development at the same meeting, which meant that it was a very long meeting.
Yeah.
Correct. Hold on, can
I'm still talking. I'm sorry, Representative Massett, but I did have the floor. Sorry.
I thought you were finished. I'm sorry.
Nope, I'm not finished. Anyway, I mean, I'm just giving that as my recommendation, which would be to leave that as it is and to, work with our own, just like ask for, make that try to make it so that you don't have overlaps like this. But I don't think by regulating it on some schedule, it will serve those entities or this body. And I also just want to reiterate that the moderator doesn't have that ability to liaise directly with town staff or Board of Ed staff on these presentations. Section 6.4.1, does note that Rule 6.4.1.1 and 6.4.1.2 are related, and there's a mislabeling because there is no 6.4.1.1. So that the next bullet, which is 6.4.2, should be renumbered to be.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Because I just want to make sure that we got that.
Page
So
4.
on 6.4.1, Rule 6.4.1 with the extra 0.1 and 6.4.1.2, there.
Yeah, there is no 6.4.1.
So
it needs to be renumbered.
6.4.2, got it.
Okay. And then my last comment is related to section 9.6. And I know that citizens petitions has always been called citizens petitions, but it struck me a little off in my work now. We are rethinking the use of that term in citizen science and other ways it's been used, because I really think the intent of this is to allow the public to speak and not to question their citizenship status. So I would urge this body to rename Rule 9.6 public petitions and replace the word citizen with public, and replace all references to his or her and he and she with their, or a gender neutral pronoun. So I think, even I know, we have many ranges of citizenship. Not everyone who's a resident is a citizen in Groton. And so I don't think we necessarily wish to exclude them.
Okay.
Thank you, Representative. Hold on. Thank you, Representative Eben. I just want to address one thing that was brought up. I did not speak with the superintendent. You are correct. I spoke with, I believe it was the town manager. Yes, the town manager about discussing that. And he had stated that he would discuss it with them and see how they felt about that. As Representative Massett stated, the concern with the economic development and the report from the superintendent of schools was that when they're both there on the same day, it does get to be a very long meeting. So that was the intent of that, from my understanding. If anyone on the committee wants to clarify that more, but maybe we need to reword that so that it's a little clearer on what the intent was.
Okay.
And I was just stressing that you should have maximum flexibility, and that, it might be good to have only 4 reports a year or whatever, but, you may want to dictate when that happens, or you may want to have, that happen in concert with those entities.
Thank you, Representative Eben. Representative Surf.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Okay. I had only a comment to make on the conveniently, it's right on the screen, that citizens petition paragraph.
Yes.
If you're going to remove the word citizens altogether, then it's academic, but the apostrophes were either missing or in the wrong place in actually almost every occurrence of the word citizens there. So you're going to change it to, when you go public petitions, how are you going to change these sentences? If a member of the public.
Any resident? You could say any resident.
No. How about the word speaker?
How about, hold on. Can I?
Person?
Hold on. We have one person speaking at a time, and the only person recognized is Representative Surf at the moment. What would you propose?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not good at verbalizing these things. I just wanted the apostrophes to be in the right place, which none of them are right now.
So it could be any member of the public who is a non-voting member of the RTM, wishes to speak, may notify the RTM via the town. So it could be member of the public. Member of the public.
Yep.
Okay. Member of the public.
Representative Eben, will you take that as a friendly amendment?
Gender neutral. Yes.
Fine. Yeah. A member of the public.
Neutral.
Member of the public.
Okay. Now I have a context issue, which I think the original wording was much better, for a minimum of 5 minutes, not to exceed 10 minutes, because, and Representative Thomas made this point when we were discussing this section. This is really not just for us, it's for people, for a member of the public who wants to come and speak, would like to know how much time they have to speak. So just as an information, a matter of information for the public, because, you know, they might prepare something that's only 2 minutes long and then realize they could have spoken for 5, or prepare something that's 8 minutes long and then get cut off. So it would be really good for the public. And I think this is really important because we don't want to discourage people from coming to speak to us. To go back to that 5 minutes, you know, a minimum of 5 minutes, not to exceed, you know, not to exceed 10 minutes, you know, and at the discretion of the moderator, or something like that. In other words, the moderator can change these time limits, but generally, if there's no real reason, like there's 40 people in the room that want to speak, you know, they get 5 minutes, which I think would be a really nice addition to this so that the public would know what they can do. So again, I'm not sure what the phrasing should be. I would defer to Betsy or somebody who really knows how to write legislation for that. But I really do think, you know, the time limits should be in there.
Thank you, Representative Surf. Representative Thomas? And if people can put their hand down when they're done speaking, if they don't want to speak again. Representative Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I appreciate the comments by Representative Eben and Representative Surf. Definitely, I agree wholeheartedly with all their refinements and suggestions. Now, just to be clear, for a point of clarification, are we at the point now where we can add amendments to this?
Yes. What we're going to end up probably needing to do is go through here line by line. Okay, go ahead. Your amendments, please.
I'd like to propose a rule addition, 3.8. The moderator's term of office shall be identical to that of the RTM, which chooses the moderator, except that by a vote of at least 2/3 of the RTM members present and voting, the moderator may be removed and another member chosen to assume the duties and responsibilities of moderator.
Any other proposals?
Yep. Proposed rule change 6.2.8. If a floor leader determines the moderator's initial or replacement selections for that party's membership on any given committee to be disagreeable with their party caucus, the floor leader can override the moderator's decision with a 2/3 vote of that floor leader's party caucus. This caucus vote shall be conducted on the floor of the RTM meeting and recorded by the clerk of the RTM.
Any more?
Order. We went through.
I'm sorry, who is the point of order?
Representative
John?
Scott, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't see a full screen at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little box in the corner myself. These rules that Representative Thomas is suggesting were individually motioned and discussed and voted on in our committee. I think that the same process ought to be followed here.
To be individually?
Yeah.
So my question is, do we want to go back to the beginning and vote on each thing individually?
Yes.
Common consensus? I don't want to take a vote on this. I can't. Representative Scott, I'm sorry, can you take down your screen so that I can see people? Okay, so my suggestion is that we go through what people are suggesting for changes, and then we go through each one line by line to vote on each one.
Just a point of clarification. You mean as in going through the draft rules as they stand and item by item 1.1, 1.2? And if
We're
there's
gonna, not through the changes.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
So Representative Thomas, you did it might make sense to hold off. I don't want people to not be able to present their proposals for changes. So I'm going to have you read all of yours, and then we're going to go back through and discuss each one. We'll vote one by one and have discussion on each one.
Point of
So if you can,
clarification.
yes.
Thank you. So I don't understand what's being done. I mean, if everyone has printed out, because I assume that Representative Thomas's changes are all in that umpty-ump page booklet he sent out, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so are we voting on his as well?
Yes.
Anyone can make suggestions for changes to the rules.
Okay, and then we're going to vote on the changes, suggested changes. Okay, then the ones that are already in the document in blue where it says it is suggested, are we voting on those as well, or?
Yes.
Yes.
But they would be changes made, not it is suggested.
Thank you.
If I could make a suggestion, just maybe to kind of streamline the process a little bit, maybe we could follow the flow of the document. You know, go from the top down. You know, start with the preamble and discuss that, accept, refine, or reject, and then move on down the list to the next change. And then when I get to the number that I want to insert or I have a change for, I could just jump in and make the amendment there.
I'm fine with that. Representative Massett, did you have a point in there?
No.
A concern? Okay. Representative Chazen,
Point of clarification, did you want to go through the ones that my suggestions to in the?
Absolutely. When we get there, we'll discuss those. Thank you, Representative Eben. Representative Gustafson, you have your hand up. Are you okay with waiting until we get to the line that you're concerned with?
Sure, I just had something on 9.6. We can wait.
Okay, so we'll get there. Okay, so the first, this is really hard to read, sorry. The first correction is the preamble. Do you want to, Representative Massett already read that. Is there any discussion on changing the preamble or adding a preamble? Representative Thomas, do you have something to add to the preamble?
Oh, sorry. Negative. I am okay with that preamble.
Okay, your hand's just up. That's why.
Sorry. Yep. Sorry, just before we get into this, it is 10:15. Do we want to maybe look at the stopping point, or do you think we can kind of get this done before 11?
I don't think we're going to get it done.
No.
So I'm going to go ahead, Representative Massett.
I don't think that we will be able to get through this in a reasonable amount of time and have everyone happy with the outcome. My suggestion would be we have Representative Thomas's recommended changes, but my suggestion would be, for instance, Representative Eben, her changes that she put in writing and submit them to the clerk. And as much as I would like to have seen this finished by this month, but submit her changes to the clerk. And we have a document for next month's meeting that includes changes unless people are willing to sit here for a long time.
Representative Pacino, your hand's up.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Representative Pacino.
I would like to vote on the changes up till this point and do the amendments at the next meeting. That's
So
my,
you're recommending voting on the recommendations as proposed by the Rules and Procedures Committee. We could
with all
vote
the
on-
changes, with all the little changes that everybody just talked about, and the amendments another day. Where we're at right now, is everybody okay with it? And we'll do
There's
the
no
amendments
motion on the floor to adopt those.
Does that
What's that,
include
Jeff?
I'm sorry, does that, I think there's too many, if you start, I think there's a lot of changes that we've just discussed, and I think I would like to go through it at least page by page before we make any sort of agreement and rules, because I think there's too much confusion on where we're at.
I agree. That's why I suggested that the folks who have changes and would like to see their changes, that they submit those in writing to the clerk, and that those are added in the appropriate places, so that next month we have a document that includes everybody's changes, and we
then-
can vote on that.
I agree wholeheartedly. That makes sense.
Okay, I'm going to go through the last few people who have their hands raised, and then we will make a decision. Representative Weaver.
With all due respect to the other members of the RTM, we've all sat here and attentively and listened to these changes. And to me, after being an admin for so long, they're very simplistic changes, and we're all engaged in this conversation now. I don't foresee that these changes, which we've all collectively listened to and agreed on, why they can't just be agreed upon this evening so that we can start the next meeting with a clean slate rather than going through all this process again. I would myself not mind staying for another half hour just to get these rules approved, because they seem rather simplistic to me. That's just my suggestion.
Representative Bright.
Yeah, is it possible for the, Madam Moderator, is it possible for you to call a special meeting just for these rules?
I think, oh, no, I read something, Betsy, there's something, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk.
Yeah, in your rules.
In the rules.
Yeah.
Because what I think Representative Massett said makes sense. If everybody would send their changes, and then they could all be incorporated into one document, and then we could have a meeting just on the rules and procedures and nothing else, a special meeting.
I would recommend that everybody send in what they want changed in the wording that they want changed. We send it back to the Rules and Rules Committee and let them mock up the changes. And then we come back and it is the first item on the agenda to discuss, and we go through it line by line. That would be my suggestion. But Representative Bright.
Wait a minute, do you want me to read you, it's in the town charter about meetings?
Yes, please.
Regular RTM meetings shall be held at least once a month on regular meeting days decided upon by the RTM members, except that whenever there shall be no business to be acted upon at a regular meeting, the meeting may be moderator and upon notice to the members. Special meetings may be held on the call of the moderator and must be held after submission to the town clerk of a petition signed by 10% of the qualified of the town.
Oh, yeah, man. That's what I remember reading was something about it had to be 10 or a portion of the town. So it would be very challenging to get a special meeting.
Okay, I just thought I'd, suggest it.
Thank you. No, I understand. Representative Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. So I do appreciate Representative Massett's suggestion, and I think that's a good way to go. And what Madam Moderator, your suggestion as well. I think it would be a much more streamlined and focused way to go about doing this. I'd love to see everything kind of incorporated in one master document with all the proposed changes, and then we just go down top to bottom, piece by piece, and talk it out and get it done in one shot, hopefully by February. But I'd love to help craft that master document and get all the proposed changes from everyone in the body incorporated in to be considered at large. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Surf.
Yes, I agree. I agree with Representative Thomas. I don't like to vote on something where we just have some suggested changes and they're not in there, where you can't actually see the text. So I think it has to go back to the Rules Committee, as Representative Massich also suggested. Go back to the Rules Committee. We'll propose our changes in writing. And I think it'll be very quick in the Rules Committee, and then it comes back to us and we can vote on the actual document. Especially since it's our rules document, it's really important that everything be correct.
Thank you, Representative Surf. Representative Scott.
Just as a point of clarification here, we're sending this back to the committee. Many of the rules that Representative Thomas is, I think, planning on presenting tonight have already been voted down by the committee. So are we suggesting that a document be created to include those rules we've already voted down? I guess I'm procedural. I'm confused as to how we're supposed to go forward here.
No, I think we take all of the suggestions as the Rules and Procedures Committee. You can vote on the ones that you agree to and present that again. And then representatives who have concerns can add to that. Town Clerk.
Okay, we've got two things going on here. I think it's been suggested, and I thought it was a good idea, that everyone who wants to make a change to the document, put it in writing, send it to the town. I'll work with the, and I'll send it to the committee, and the committee will put it together. But I think that even if the committee voted down or the suggestions that Representative Thomas had, the committee doesn't own that. The RTM does. So his suggestions must be part of the document that the RTM sees. He would have put them on the floor tonight if he had the time.
So would you suggest that they put them maybe in different colors? So if it was something that they agree with, they maybe put it in red. If it's something they disagree with, they put it in blue.
I don't think that you want to get into that. I think you just going to put things on. Yeah,
just put it in.
Messy document, but we'll get it right.
Okay.
It should only, moderator, I think it should only be changes. Don't that we so that we end up with something concise, and not different colors.
Just make all the changes.
Yes.
Okay.
Like rule 1.1.1.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Representative Surf.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to take my hand down.
Representative Eben.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. I just wanted to kind of push back on something I had heard Representative Scott say twice, which is somehow that the Rules Committee was able to kind of decide on Representative Thomas's amendments or my own amendments. This is the RTM's rules, and the RTM will vote. And I believe, the town clerk just explained it, but I kept going on and off trying to understand what was going to happen. And I want to be clear that all amendments from any member should be considered. I don't think they should have to be written, but I'm happy to write them down. I can put them in track mode myself if it's helpful. But the Rules Committee, the temporary Rules Committee, let me say, has no special power on deciding. They're just the first take on what those rules should look like. And the entire body is going to vote on them, and the entire body has the ability under our own rules and Robert's rules to make any amendment they see fit and to vote on that.
And actually, Moderator Rusk,
Hold on, Representative Massett.
I have a question, and the question is, seeing as a permanent Rules Committee has been named, should this go to the permanent Rules Committee? Sorry, John. but should this go to the Permanent Rules Committee? Because my thought is that the temporary Rules Committee is only in existence until a permanent committee is appointed.
I would say that the temporary rules committee was charged with writing the 33rd RTM rules, not the permanent. So that's my opinion.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
stick with the temporary.
Okay.
Representative Watson.
All right. Thank you, Madam Moderator. Let me turn my picture on. Okay. I think I think some of the things like Representative Edmund it makes about changing all the modernizing our verbiage is an absolute thing we should be doing. But I think sending back things that the committee's already voted down back to the committee, I think you come into the rules of reconsideration there. We can't, there's rules for reconsidering things in committees, and sending something back because you want us to reconsider it, I think is wrong. I think that needs to be talked about on the floor of the RTM.
We're not asking you to reconsider. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject, but you're not being asked to reconsider. You're just being asked to format it together. Take what is being proposed and format it together. So your minutes have been approved. So what you agreed to has already been approved. So then that begs the question of, does it even need to go back to the Rules and Procedures Committee, or does it just need to be compiled by the town clerk?
That would be a much better approach. You don't need to get the Rules Committee involved.
Yeah, the more I consider that, I believe that's probably the best approach. Representative Massett, do you have any objection to that?
I have one more thing to say.
Oh, I'm sorry, Representative Watson.
I want to thank Jackie for running this committee because it hasn't been easy, and you can see how hard it is to do what she's doing. And nice job trying to slough it off on me on the Permanent Rules Committee. But Jackie, you've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't throw compliments, throw wine.
Town clerk.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, is it? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
Well, I have
Representative
my hand
Scott.
up.
Representative Watson basically stole my thunder on some of this stuff. I was concerned about reconsideration as well. It sounded to me like we were sending stuff back to the committee to reconsider stuff that we've already voted on, and that was the point I was going to make to Representative Edmonds' earlier comments. So.
Thank you. My apologies. I think sometimes we just need to talk things out and make sure we're doing them the correct way. Representative Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. So yeah, I don't think this is like a reconsideration situation because, full disclosure, I was going to amend every single one of my suggested rule changes tonight. So one way or another, the whole body of the RTM was going to get a chance to consider my proposed rule changes, and we'll have some discussion about that. So that is going to happen. And all that's happening now is that the document's going to be handed back to the committee, and we will take in all these suggestions and compile the document, and that's it. We're just clerical workers at this point. We're not making decisions or recommendations. The recommendations have already been issued by the committee, and that's their only recommendations. Nothing's final until the body of the RTM votes on these rules.
So the recommendation actually is that we send it to the town clerk and let her compile it so that it doesn't have to go back to your committee.
That's fine too. That's fine as long as we just get a clean document that's got everything in there, and we just run down the list and have it out next meeting. Thank you.
Okay, Representative Weaver. Representative Weaver.
I had myself on mute. I concur with the suggestion to send it back to the town because, like I said at the onset of this 15 minutes ago, they were very simplistic changes. If someone took notes, they can just be added as an addendum to the current minutes that were approved, and then we could just review them at the onset of the next meeting.
Thank you. Okay. Seeing no other, as long as Representative Weaver, are you, your hands up, Representative Scott?
I was going to make a motion that we set this aside to the next RTM meeting.
Is there a second?
Second, Adams.
So Representative Scott, Representative Adams, second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone object? Anyone abstain? Okay, that motion passed. We'll move that to the next RTM meeting in February. Does anyone have any new business? All right, then I will take a motion to
I
adjourn.
do.
I'm sorry, Representative Watson has his hand up.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could have on our agenda in anticipation, changing the times of the RTM meetings for the rest of the year to 7 o'clock.
I think we have to vote on that first. We have to vote on that.
It's not going to be part of the rules. It's just a suggestion.
It is.
Okay.
No, it's not part of the rules, Jackie. I'm sorry.
Yes.
It is the whole RTM has to vote. It has to be put on the agenda. And when it's on the agenda, then you vote on the schedule.
That's
which is a
my
7 o'clock
point.
change. And I'll
Yeah,
make sure that's done
agendas.
for you. Yep.
So in March, we can start at 7. That was my point.
Right. I'll have that on February's meeting. The new
Thank you.
schedule.
I remember you explained to me the difference. Okay. Thank
Point
you.
of order. Don't we have to vote on that?
You will next month.
No, I meant to just.
No,
It's
no,
a
you'll vote
resolution.
on it next month. It'll be on your agenda as an agenda item to accept the year schedule with the change of meeting date time to 7 o'clock from 7:30. So you vote on it next month.
I was mistaken. I thought Mr. Watson's suggestion was to do that. I just didn't know if he needed to have a motion in and seconded to do that. That's all.
No. I'm sorry. I just asked to have it on the agenda next month. That's all.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Seeing no other hands, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Haley,
Representative
second.
Tacombe, Haley, second. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night.